Let me break the news to you. You are screwed. No matter what you do, life will break your heart, challenge your integrity, exhaust your mind, and test your soul. If you chase success, you'll be hated. If you choose safety, you'll be forgotten. If you stand out, you'll be attacked. If you blend in, you'll disappear. The brutal truth is, there is no path you can walk where suffering won't find you. So the real question is not, how do I avoid being screwed? The question is, what is worth being screwed for? Because you will be hurt, but if you choose wisely, you won't be destroyed. Most people live their lives trying to minimize discomfort. They think if they just play it safe, get the job, stay quiet, don't take risks, they'll be fine. But comfort is a liar. It doesn't protect you, it traps you. The more you hide in comfort, the weaker you become. And here's the twist. Life doesn't get easier because you avoided difficulty. It gets harder because now you're too fragile to face the inevitable. Hard truth, the world doesn't care if you're comfortable. It only cares if you're competent. If you can't carry weight, life will crush you. So stop aiming for ease, aim for strength, aim for resilience. Because when the storm comes, and it always comes, it's not the comfortable who survive, it's the prepared. You want success, great. Understand this first. Success is suffering in disguise. It demands discipline, sacrifice, sleepless nights, rejection, responsibility, and isolation. But here's the paradox, so does failure. You will suffer either way. In success, you suffer before the reward. In failure, you suffer after the regret. So choose your suffering wisely, because doing the work, building the discipline, showing up even when it's hard, that pain. It shapes you, the pain of not doing it, that will rot you from the inside out. You are screwed either way, but one kind of pain builds you, and the other kind destroys you. Whether you follow your dreams or play it safe, people will judge you. You will be called selfish for putting yourself first, weak for showing emotions, arrogant for showing confidence. You'll never get universal approval, and if that's what you're seeking, you will end up a hollow shell of yourself. Trying to please everyone is a guaranteed way to lose who you are. Instead, be the kind of person who can be judged, who can be hated, and who can be misunderstood and still stands firm. You must be willing to offend the world in order to stay true to yourself. Because authenticity is rare, and it's expensive. But remember, a life spent avoiding judgment is a life wasted avoiding meaning. This isn't a metaphorical death. It's literal. One day, sooner than you expect, your body will fail, your voice will go silent, and the world will move on. So the question is, what are you doing with the short, brutal, beautiful stretch of time you've been given? You are going to lose your youth, your health, your relationships. They will be taken from you piece by piece. But you do get to decide what you lose them for. Will you give your energy to something worthy of your suffering? Will you use your pain to build something that lasts beyond you? Because if you're going to be screwed either way, you might as well get something eternal out of it. Don't waste your life running from hardship. Walk straight into it. Bleed for something that matters. Most people are desperately chasing comfort as if it's the ultimate goal of life. They plan their days around avoiding stress, minimizing pain, and sidestepping any form of discomfort. And on the surface, it sounds reasonable. Who wouldn't want a peaceful, predictable existence? But here's the problem. Comfort, when pursued as a destination, becomes a slow, seductive poison. It doesn't nurture you. It weakens you. The longer you live in comfort, the more life's challenges feel unbearable. And the truth is, whether you seek it or not, challenges will come. Comfort is not a shield, it's a trap. You see, comfort gives the illusion of safety, but in reality, it erodes your capacity to deal with difficulty. Think about a muscle that never lifts anything heavy. It doesn't stay neutral, it withers. The same is true for your mind, your discipline, your emotional endurance. If you're always choosing the path of least resistance, then when real resistance finally shows up, and it always does, you'll be unprepared, overwhelmed, and broken. And life has no mercy for the unprepared. Worse still, people wrap comfort in noble sounding phrases. I just want stability. I'm trying to reduce stress. I need to prioritize self-care. But often these statements are masks for fear. Fear of growth, fear of change, fear of failure. They become excuses to stay small, to stay unseen, and ultimately to stay irrelevant. And ironically, the more someone tries to cling to comfort, the more discomfort they attract in the long run. Mental illness, regret, stagnation, midlife crises, they're the price of ignoring life's demand for growth. Comfort whispers, relax, you deserve it. But it never tells you the full cost of that relaxation. Potential that goes unused, dreams that die in your throat, and strength that never gets built. And the worst part, you start convincing yourself that your numbness is peace. But deep down, you know it's not. It's just the silence that comes before your soul starts screaming for purpose. Every great achievement, every transformation, every meaningful life, it all came through discomfort. The pain of discipline, the fear of failure, the sting of rejection, those are the tools that shape you. So the next time you're tempted to stay comfortable, ask yourself, is this really peace, or is this just quiet surrender? Because comfort won't save you when life throws its next punch. Only strength will, and strength is forged in fire, not in feather beds. Success is one of the most misunderstood and glamorized pursuits in human life. People often look at the rewards, money, recognition, freedom, and forget to see the brutal, grinding cost that success demands. They imagine success as a destination filled with luxury and ease, but the truth, success is suffering. It's blood in the soil. It's late nights when you're exhausted. It's getting up when no one's watching. It's swallowing criticism that cuts like glass and still showing up the next day. The world may admire the end result, but it rarely has the stomach to endure the process that creates it. You want to be successful. Understand that you are choosing to suffer in a very specific way. You are choosing rejection, self-doubt, sacrifice, and loneliness. You are choosing to carry a weight that most people walk away from. There is nothing passive or soft about real achievement, and what's worse, the more ambitious your dream is, the higher the price will be. You will be misunderstood, you will be mocked, and you will be told, sometimes by people you love, that you are wasting your time. Success will not arrive with applause, it will arrive with scars, but here's the irony. Failure isn't much different. If you decide to avoid the cost of success, you will still pay. Only this time, the cost comes in regret. You will suffer in silence, carrying the quiet pain of dreams deferred and potential wasted. The pain of failure is just as real, but it's emptier. It's a slow burn that eats you from within. You won't get back the years you spent procrastinating. You won't get a refund on the discipline you never developed, and the world, it won't pause for your excuses. It just moves on without you, so either way you suffer, either way you bleed, but only one road leads to growth. Only one road leaves you better than you were. Success doesn't spare you from pain, it just makes the pain meaningful. Every hardship you face on that path becomes part of your transformation, and that's the difference. Failure wastes your pain, success uses it. It turns your struggle into strength, your tears into grit, and your battle into a story worth telling. Most people think they're avoiding pain by avoiding big goals, but all they're doing is delaying it. And when it finally hits, it's too late to become the person who could have carried it with purpose. No matter what you do in life, people will judge you. That's not a possibility, it's a certainty. Whether you aim high or play it small, whether you speak out or stay silent, someone will have something to say. If you succeed, they'll say you got lucky. If you fail, they'll say they knew you would. If you're confident, you'll be labeled arrogant. If you're humble, they'll say you lack drive. The brutal reality is that human beings are wired to criticize what they don't understand, resent what they don't have, and reject what makes them feel insecure. So the moment you start living authentically, unapologetically, and boldly, the moment you break from the crowd, you become a target. But what's worse than being judged is living in fear of it. So many people shrink themselves down to avoid criticism. They mute their voice, soften their message, dress a certain way, walk a certain way, and speak in a calculated tone, all to gain approval from people who aren't even paying attention to their pain, their growth, or their dreams. It's a game of spiritual death by 1,000 concessions. You become a version of yourself that's more acceptable to others and less recognizable to yourself. And for what? Temporary acceptance, half-hearted claps, hollow validation. If you build your life around avoiding judgment, you will never build anything real, because truth, originality, leadership, conviction, these things offend, they disrupt, they challenge the norm. And that's exactly why they matter. Every person who has ever changed the world has been hated by someone. Every person who has spoken truth has been silenced by others. But they chose to endure the fire of judgment because they knew that staying small was a greater betrayal than being misunderstood. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control how they perceive your journey. But you can control what you do with their judgment. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it refine you, because if you're being judged for doing something meaningful, it's proof that you're not invisible anymore. And that matters far more than the approval of people who'd rather see you blend in than stand up. To live fully, you must accept that not everyone will applaud your existence, and that's okay. You weren't born to be liked. You were born to become someone worth being remembered for. Death is not a metaphor. It is not a poetic concept or an abstract philosophical idea. It is a guaranteed, looming certainty that hangs over every second of your life. You are not exempt, neither am I. Every breath you take brings you one step closer to the end of your story. And yet, most people live as if they are immortal, wasting their days, numbing their potential, and distracting themselves from the terrifying but liberating truth. You are going to die. This should terrify you, not because death itself is cruel, but because life is so often squandered in ignorance of it. People walk through their days like sleepwalkers, postponing their dreams, delaying their growth, avoiding risk, and convincing themselves that they'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow is not promised, neither is next year, neither is next week. One accident, one diagnosis, one twist of fate, and the time you thought you had is gone. Death doesn't send a warning, it doesn't check your schedule. It just arrives, and when it does, the only question that matters is, did you live in a way that made the suffering worthwhile? You're going to lose everything eventually. Your strength, your youth, your beauty, your certainty, your control, they all fade. Even the people you love will leave or die, and that is not pessimism. It is the cost of existence, but you do get one sacred power, the ability to choose what you give your time, your energy, and your suffering to. That is the only real agency you have, and it is more than enough, because if you choose well, the things you build will outlive you. The words you speak, the people you touch, the battles you fight, they will echo after you're gone. The mistake most people make is assuming they can negotiate with death by playing small. If I don't take risks, maybe I'll be safe. If I don't dream too big, maybe I won't get hurt. But you don't get to skip the end just because you were cautious. You still lose everything, so why not lose it on purpose? Why not pour your effort into something beautiful, something terrifying, and something worth bleeding for? There's no path where you make it out alive, but there is a path where you make it out fulfilled. And that path is narrow, costly, and demanding, but it's also the only one worth walking. At the heart of everything we've discussed lies a brutal but liberating truth. Life is suffering, no matter which path you choose. Whether you seek comfort or challenge, whether you play small or aim big, you are going to suffer. The mistake is thinking there's a way to escape it. There isn't. The only real choice you have is whether your pain will be meaningless or meaningful, whether it will be spent avoiding responsibility or used to build something that outlives you. That decision, and that decision alone, separates the fulfilled from the forgotten. We live in a world that sells the illusion of ease and safety, soft paths, quick pleasures, fake victories, but those things come with hidden costs. weakness, dependency, apathy, and regret. Real growth demands discomfort. Real success demands sacrifice. Real identity demands judgment. And real purpose demands that you face death, not in fear, but with a clenched fist and an open heart. Because if you are going to be hurt by life anyway, you might as well be hurt by something that matters. You might as well get wounded doing something you believe in, something you would defend with your soul. This is the paradox you must accept. There is no version of life where you escape struggle, criticism, or loss. You are screwed either way, but that's not a reason to despair, it's a reason to commit. It means that you are free to choose the harder path, not because it's safe, but because it's worthy. It means you can stop chasing ease and start chasing excellence. It means you don't have to wait for permission or approval, because both are irrelevant in the face of mortality. The time you have is all you get. The person you become is all you leave behind. So let the world misunderstand you. Let them judge, let them mock, let them leave. If you are walking a road of meaning, the pain will not break you. It will transform you, and when death finally comes, and it will, you won't meet it with fear. You'll meet it knowing you lived fully, fiercely, and without apology. You'll know you chose the path where your suffering became your strength. And in that final moment, that knowledge will be your peace. Not because you avoided being screwed, but because you chose a purpose that made it all worth it. Thank you so much for taking the time to experience this speech. Your presence, your attention, and your willingness to confront the raw, unfiltered truths of life mean more than words can express. This message wasn't designed to comfort you. It was built to awaken something within you. If it struck a chord, made you reflect, or challenged the way you see the world, then its purpose has been fulfilled. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. You are stronger than your circumstances, braver than your fears, and more capable than you've been told. Life won't get easier, but you will get stronger. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start where you are. Fight for something that matters, and above all, don't waste the pain. If this message moved you, inspired you, or gave you something to think about, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. Your support helps keep powerful content like this alive and growing. Until next time, stay bold, stay honest, and stay committed to your highest self. Thank you, take care, and goodbye.